Hello. The goal of this tutorial video is to show you how to search the USGS water quality database. This is an online database, so what you need to do first is open up a web browser. And what we need to do is search for the USGS water data. And when I do that, the first thing that comes up on my list is the USGS water data for the nation. That is in fact what we're after, so I'm going to click that link. And once I do that, it takes me to a web page that includes links to several different databases. The USGS keeps track of a lot of data for us. The one that I'm interested in for this tutorial is water quality. Okay, so this is the geochemistry data that the USGS keeps track of as far as water is concerned. Once you do that, you go to another page that has some more options. Okay, so there's more than one water quality database. The one that we're interested in is down here at the bottom, field and lab samples. These are samples that have been collected over the past several decades from hundreds of thousands of sites. Okay, so it's an enormous database. So I'm going to click on that link. And this takes us to a page where we can set up a search. There's a huge amount of data there. We don't want all of it by any means, and I think it'd be pretty difficult to get it to us. So we need to set up a search that allows us to sift through that data and get out what we need. There's a lot of options here. I encourage you to check those options out, but for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to tell the thing that we want to search. We're going to tell the web page that we want to search by site type and parameter codes. Once I've done that, click the submit button, and we go to a web page where we actually have to tell it what the site type we're interested in, what parameter code we're interested in. For this exercise, we're interested in groundwater, so I'm just going to tell it I only want data from wells, and then I want data that includes dissolved sulfide analysis. Okay, so I'm going to tell it, I'm going to give it the parameter code for that, which happens to be 99118. Now, essentially, just to reiterate, what I've done here is say to the database, don't give me any data unless it came from a well and includes this analysis. You can give it more than one parameter code here if you want, but we're going to keep it simple for this exercise. Once you've done that, scroll down, and we need to specify output format. So go all the way down. There's a lot of options here. We're going to tell it, give us that dissolved sulfide value, but also give us several other chemical parameters if they are available for those samples that have been analyzed for sulfide. And you'll want to get those off of the list that I provided you. I'm just going to copy them off of that list here and then paste them in there. Okay, again, this is the data that will give me, if available, in addition to that dissolved sulfide concentration. There is a lot of data, so it's nice to narrow it down here so that you don't have to skim through a bunch of data later. Okay, now in addition to that, we also want to tell it what kind of file to give us. And the file that I like to work with, that I can show you how to put into Excel, is a tab separated data file. We want it to have one remark code per row, one sample per row, with tab delimiter remark codes. We're going to tell it to give us expanded attributes so that it gives us a lot of information if it's available. And then we're going to save it to file, which is what should already be selected. Now, I click the submit button and the database starts doing its thing. It starts searching through that database and will ultimately generate an output file for us, which will then download onto your computer, as it's doing right now for my computer, my search. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to open that up and start working with the data.